Okay, the last step once you have your shoes colored in is to neatly and carefully cut out around your shoe to collage it onto your background paper that you painted. So you've got options with how you can cut out your shoes. You can use regular scissors or you can use an X-Acto knife. So if you are not comfortable using an X-Acto knife, you do not have to do that. You can do this whole thing with scissors. Remember that there is a circle shape for your thumb, a jelly bean shape for your fingers that go underneath. That's the correct way to hold the scissors. And you want to cut all the way back from where the blades connect. You don't want to cut with just the very top of the scissors. So the hand that's not opening and closing the scissors is staring my paper to make the corners. Now, we are collaging this, so if you accidentally cut into your drawing, don't freak out because you can glue it back together when you collage it to your background. But some of you might need to use an X-Acto knife because you might have really small areas you need to cut around, or you might have shoelaces with loops and you have to cut out the inside of the shoelace. So here is how we do X-Acto knives in my classroom. Your desks are numbered and the X-Acto knife containers are numbered and the X-Acto knife blade is numbered. So you are using the X-Acto knife that matches the number on your desk. We never, ever, ever cut directly onto our desk. You always have to have a wooden board underneath you. The wooden boards are on the chair at the front of the classroom. You only take an X-Acto knife if you are ready to cut. We are not handling the knives just to play with them. If you're not cutting, it needs to be in its container with the blade into the styrofoam. So when you use an X-Acto knife, the blade of the knife is extremely sharp. It will cut you. You could need stitches. It could cut you that deep. So you never ever touch the blade of the knife. The end of the knife has a bumpy section. That's like a warning for your finger of you're getting close to the blade. So be cautious. So when I am cutting, I kind of hold it like a pencil or I grip all the way over the top. You just have to figure out what's comfortable for you. But you always want to make sure that the hand not holding the knife is up high and out of the way. I do not keep my fingers in front of me while I'm trying to cut towards my fingers, because if my knife slips, that's how I cut my fingers. If my hands are away from me up top, I will not cut my fingers. So I am going to start by pressing the blade into the paper, and then I kind of drop the blade down low as I pull and cut. The hand not holding the knife steers the paper. So I'm just turning the paper. The hand that is cutting isn't changing positions, but instead my paper is turning around that blade. I should also mention that there's a straight edge to the X-Acto knife blade and a diagonal edge. The diagonal edge is the cutting edge. The straight edge is not the edge that cuts. So make sure that you have the correct blade into the paper. And if you press down hard enough, it's going to easily cut through that paper. So when you are done cutting, you are going to place your knife back in the hole in the styrofoam that matches your number. I do not dismiss the class until I have every knife collected. And then let's talk about what you should do if you cut yourself on accident. We do not on purpose cut ourselves or others. We do not poke at or pretend and play with X-Acto knives or scissors. But if you accidentally cut yourself, immediately go to the sink and wash your hands with soap and water. Then tell me or have a friend tell me that you're bleeding. I need to look at your cut. If it's just like a paper cut size, you're getting a Band-Aid from me. If it looks deeper than that, you are going to go to the nurse. So it's also best if it's bleeding to squeeze it while you walk to the closest sink to start washing your hands. The pressure of you squeezing your cut is going to make the bleeding stop faster. Or you can get paper towel and squeeze it for a bit to try to keep the blood from coming out, and then show me so I can get you a Band-Aid. Do not hide the fact that you are bleeding in my class. Okay, so once you are done cutting, then you're going to be collaging this onto your background. Okay, I should also mention that you get a grade for how neatly you cut out your shoe. So if when you finish you have white paper showing around the edge, you need to do one of two things. You either need to cut it closer or you could color it in with a colored pencil. So I'm going to cut mine a little closer. You could do that with scissors or you could do that with an X-Acto knife. Okay, then when you glue this down, you decide what position you want your paper in. So I kind of look at it from the two options that I have. I've got my background that could go in this position, or I could do my background that could go in this position. And it's just kind of a personal choice that you make. And I think I like this one better. So the top of my ankles should go towards the top edge of my white frame there. So I'm just going to be using a glue stick, and you can use your wooden board, keep that underneath you also. So I'm just going to carefully put the glue around the outside edges of my shoe. I don't need to coat the entire surface of the inside middle part of my drawing. Just the outside edges is fine. That's all that you need. And then I'm going to line that up with the top edge of my frame and make sure that my shoes are fitting inside of my paper area. And then I just kind of press down to make sure that it's going to attach. You don't want a bunch of wrinkled up paper. And part of your craftsmanship grade is how secure you glued your shoe to your background. So then the last thing that you can do, if you look at your photo, you have some shadows around your shoes. So I'm going to use a gray colored pencil to do some shading underneath my shoes right on top of my painting. Okay, so when I look at my photo, I see that I've got kind of a shadow under here. And I'm going to press a little bit harder to make it slightly darker, closer to my heel, because that shadow is a lot darker right up next to the heel. And then I'm going to add this shadow in back over here. So the drop shadows are going to help ground your shoes so they look like they're on a surface on the ground and not just kind of floating in space. And then you should take an overall look at the finished project and decide, do you need to enhance anything on the background? So for example, if my shoes are not standing out as much, then I might need to take a colored pencil and possibly lighten around it. So I'm going to take some yellow here, and I'm going to kind of shade in a little more yellow around my legs here to lighten that up because it's a lighter value. I could do this with possibly a white color pencil, or I could do it with a lighter color. It kind of works with my background collages. So you are welcome to use colored pencils to layer anything. So like if your paint didn't fill in an area and you don't like that you see some white showing through, just grab a colored pencil and just kind of shade it in. It's just like a mixed media piece right here. Okay, then the last thing I could do when I'm all done is I can sign the bottom edge of my artwork. When I sign my artwork, I want it to be small and I don't want it to be taking away from the actual design of the artwork. So I could do that with a pencil, or I could do that with an ink pen. I wouldn't use the Sharpie marker. The ink pen is fine though. But somewhere on the bottom edge, you can give it your artist's signature. And your name and your class period should have already been in the back, and then when that is finished, you're going to be turning that into me.